Hey guys, Brien O'Brien here with another week of my culinary school adventure here at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. Another great week. So happy I'm here, and man, just let me tell you about it. So this week I added a third class to my schedule. As I talked about last week, I had gastronomy and seafood identification and fabrication, otherwise known as Fish Fab. This week we actually added menus to to my class schedule. Principles of menu. It's basically everything you need to know about how to build a menu, how to build a cuisine, the ways to price things. There is a ton of information in this particular class. That's why it's actually the longest class that I'll be taking this entire semester. So that's fantastic. I'm really happy to get into that class. That one's taught by Professor Rogi, who is just a phenomenal teacher. He's really animated, passionate, and it makes the class not boring. Not that any class here is, but his are especially entertaining. This week in gastronomy, we kind of continued on. Again, it's a really big subject, so just touching a little bit on every aspect is kind of a big deal. We talked about taste and flavors and taste buds and things like that. And there's just going to be so much information that it's really going to be kind of hard for me to share every little nuance of that particular class with you. But gastronomy's going great. Professor Wolf is a great professor, and I'm very happy to have him. As I talked about, we added menus to my class schedule this week, and in menus, we really just started to talk about what the class will entail. It's a huge class, huge subject, so really this was kind of an introductory week and not a lot of content. Really cool class though. But you know, the really fun class that I'm in this semester is my one kitchen class, and this particular 3-week block, the first block of the semester, I'm in Fish Fab, and we cut a lot of fish this week. Here's a few pictures of what I did. Some of the fish that I fabricated this week: Arctic char, sardines, skate wing. We got some surgeon. We had striped bass, rock cod, some grouper. We had halibut, and my two favorites were the mahi-mahi and the amberjack tuna, and also the beautiful, humongous Atlantic farm-raised, but it is actually a Pacific salmon. So beautiful fish. Such a fun week. You know, and one of the other things in Fish Fab that I haven't actually talked about is the fact that we go through yield tests. Yield tests are, the best way to describe them is how much meat you get off of a fish. When you get a whole fish, you actually have to fabricate all the meat off the bone, just like you would any other protein, like a beef or a lamb. And so what we did is we weighed the fish whole before we actually started to fillet or fabricate the fish, and then after we actually had our fillets or whatever portion we would be using for that particular fish, we would weigh it, and we would come up with what percentage of yield we came up with for the fish. So that's really cool. It helps us understand more how to plan a menu, how to look at how much a whole fish costs versus how much that individual fillet is going to cost. And each fish is a little bit different, but it's really cool to see kind of the business side of things right there. Our yields are a little bit lower than some of the professionals, but we learned tricks like taking a spoon and scraping out some of the extra salmon meat, for instance, to kind of get some extra meat that you can use in other dishes, like a ceviche, for instance, or you could turn it into like a salmon mousse. Tons and tons of different ways of utilizing this what would have been thrown away meat. So it's really cool to go through that, and that's with Chef Almir. Really good week this week, guys. That's really it for me. Week 2 in the book, Semester 2, Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. My name's Brien O'Brien. If you have any questions about what it takes to get enrolled in the school, what it's like to be a student at the school, what it's like to live in the dorms, what it's like to live in your own home, please shoot me an email, brian@chefbrianobrien.com. You can shoot me an inbox message or just comment below. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you next week.